Well, here's our little van tour video. This is our van named Carson, who is a 2014 Ford Transit Connect. The smallest of the Connect vans, and it was a passenger van, and we took the seats out and did a build inside. And we chose a 4-cylinder van, a small one, because we wanted to be good on gas. So we've just gotten back from a 8-month sojourn from Toronto down to Florida, across the bottom of the States in the desert to San Diego, up to British Columbia for a couple of months, and then back all the way across to Ontario again. So with the price of gas, we were really grateful that we had a little 4-cylinder van, although there's some ups and downs to having so little inside space, and we'll talk about that, I guess. So we want to start with the tail veil. What is this fine?
What is that fine thing?
What is this thing? So this is the incredible tail veil. You can come close and show it if you want. We ordered it from Florida. It's a 2-minute setup, which is amazing for if you are just in a rush and need a little bit of bug protection or whatever. Gives you, especially for a small van like this, gives you a situation where the bugs are out. You can zip up in the bottom, and also there's a rain fly not pictured here that can go over, so that you have, again, some covered inside space. And to be able to stand up in it is great. So come on in. We'll just reattach this guy, because we can't stand up in our van, so this is a big deal to be able to stand up in the tail veil and have a tarp floor. Nice blue ambiance, and the lift gate of the van just holds it right up at maximum height. So we can sit in here. There's lots of room. 6 square feet, I believe, on the ground. So we love the tail veil. And then I guess our kitchen situation. So this is our fridge, and the fridge was the thing that it's an ARB fridge, and it determined the whole size of the bed and everything, because we couldn't. Why is that? Because we couldn't.
The fridge had to fit with the tailgate closed and the bed in there.
Yeah.
In order to have both.
Everything to work. So it's one of these. It's a chest fridge, so it lifts like this, and because of it's empty right now because we're done our trip. Boo hoo. But we rigged up this little guy to be able to hold it in place, because it was annoying always holding it open with your head trying to get stuff. And then we realized that what was important, so this thing was incredible. We would highly recommend ARB as a travel fridge. It ran solidly for 7 months with no trouble, and it runs off of this battery, which I'll talk about in a second. But what we realized is that with a fridge, when you're beside the fridge in a regular kitchen, what you want is to be able to take stuff out of the fridge and put it on the counter when you're about to prepare food. And we were like, well, how do we do that? So David made this little fold down counter type thing out of an old bedside table. Also notice the knife block. Really nice. And so this isn't, you can't do push-ups on this thing or anything, but it does serve to, it's got a little coffee stain on it from many months of use, but serves well to, organize what we're gonna eat and where and stuff. And how do we cook? So we have, this is our special ordered from the States Camp Chef, what's it called?
Everest 2X.
The Everest 2000 2X, and it's a double burner. I don't know if I need to open it all up. Maybe I will anyway. It's a little dirty, but this is an incredible camp stove. It's the highest rated for if you're doing like a year solidly of being on the road and cooking. It simmers really well, so I would highly recommend it. You can only get these in the States, and they don't ship to Canada. So if you're a Canadian van lifer, make a friend in the States. That's what I did. I got them to, anyway, it was a whole thing, but it was very worth it. This thing is heavy. It's a beast, but it really worked well. And
I designed the space underneath the fridge to fit the stove.
Custom build, yeah, so that we could be able to just slide this right under. And we brought this little metal folding table around the country with us, which really made a huge difference too. Whoops. To be able to just have another surface for when we were really boondocking and didn't have a picnic table or anything. This closes right up. So between this and this and this, that's our counter space, really. And it worked. It was fine.
Tell me about the dishpan.
Oh yeah, I love the dishpan. Okay, so I really did not, being a person who just really likes things to feel clean, I really did not want to bring a plastic dishpan around with us. And we don't have a sink like a lot of van life people do. We don't have a drain. So I invested in a stainless steel dishpan, which usually I think classically sits in a sink. You can get these on Amazon. This is the brand name, awning here, made in Korea. Really good. A little bit of drain holes here and some feet, which we had to tape on. They did fall off a little bit.
One fell off, and so I wanted to make sure the other ones didn't fall off.
Yeah. So that was good, and that sat up here. This was a nice addition you did, so that when we're driving along, the dishpan and other like teapot and stuff isn't rattling off.
Which
So
it did for the first couple months.
it was a pain in the ass. So we put this here, and then it didn't go anywhere, which was just amazing. Because sometimes it's full of dirty dishes. Because
Yeah.
even though I didn't ever want to travel with dirty dishes, sometimes you do. Sometimes you end up traveling with dirty dishes. So this,
Oh, the kettle.
oh, the kettle, yeah.
So the
Well,
kettle.
The kettle is sort of connected to the jackery, I guess. Here. So this goes up like this, and this holds this in place. It used to stay up on its own, stopped at some point, we don't know why. So electrical. So the jackery is something we would highly recommend. We love it, and it is what is it? Can you talk about it? Maybe you get in here now.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the jackery is it's a jackery 1000. So it'll put out 1,000 watts of power, which is why we had to get this 800-watt kettle. Because too big of an appliance will turn it off or stress it out or whatever. So it's got AC on this side and DC on that side. So the fridge runs off DC, and the kettle and the lights and the
Computer power.
and the coffee grinder and the
blender.
all run off AC.
But they all have to be less than 1,000 watts.
Yeah. Or so.
Like the blender had to be an 800-watt blender to a 9 or something.
600 or
Yeah.
whatever. We also actually got an induction cooktop that has variable powers, which we didn't use that much, but I was inspired when I learned about induction being way more efficient than anything else, including gas.
Oh.
But this kettle was such a game changer in terms of making coffee without taking out the stove and the
Washing dishes.
tank and the pipe, the hose for the tank and all that riffraff.
We also, the other thing about the jackery is that we can plug it in to the car. So this is the solar input here. And yes, we do have solar panels, yay. But we also can plug it in to the car
At the same time.
when we're driving. I know, not at the same time. But when we're driving, if we feel like, if it's a cloudy day, we need some.
Yeah, if it's been cloudy for a few days, we have 200, we'll get to the solar panels in a moment. Anything else back here?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. Little spot here
Oh yeah.
for a chair.
Oh,
The table used to live here.
insulation.
Yeah. Sometimes our kitchen kitchen tools hang right here.
Right.
In a van, you use every little spot.
Especially in a tiny van.
Yeah, so these were kind of cool. I was like, oh, we can actually put something here to hang our tongs and our spatula, which aren't hanging there right now. You want to talk about the inside?
I can talk about the insulation, yeah. So vans aren't made, cars aren't made to be slept in and breathed in so much. We wanted some insulation to help regulate temperature and to wick away moisture from condensation from when we were breathing and sleeping. And also to help with sound barrier. So we went with Havelock wool. So this is all 100% sheep's wool. You can see it here. And the doors are full of it and the ceiling is full of it. And because we've got glass all the way around, because it's a passenger van, we didn't insulate floor to ceiling the way that a lot of van lifers do. We just did what we could, but I think it really did make a difference. We stuffed it into all the little, like you can see it through here, which is a bit ridiculous. That took a long time with the chopsticks, stuffing it into every little crack. That was sort of my baby, that project. And we pulled down the headliner here from the ceiling because we wanted to put the insulation in, but then realized we hate this headliner. It's so ugly. It's like the worst, crappiest material. Why don't we put in a cedar ceiling? And then, well, you talk about this, how the ceiling actually went up.
So the ceiling, in order to connect the ceiling to the roof, I was trying to figure out how to bolt pieces of wood to the metal, which would have been really complex.
We actually have another video about that, also
yeah.
a YouTube video.
So in lieu of that, I realized that there's places that you could tie stuff onto the cross beams in here, in 3 places, here, kind of in the middle and at the far end. So I literally tied 2x2s or 2x-somethings, I can't remember,
you can see the
across
blue rope.
the top here. So they're lashed on, and they're lashed in these 3 places. There's 2 pieces of wood here. One, I think, ends here, and there's another one, because there's a bit of a curve to the roof. And so it's same all the way across in those 3 places. Then I screwed these 5/16 cedar planks, wainscoting onto the top for this cedar ceiling, which we love. And the great thing about cedar ceilings is there's all these figures in it. So sometimes at night we'd look up and we'd talk about the different beings that we see in the cedar ceiling. Until we had time sometimes. And then a couple other things that we can see from here.
Sure.
Is on top of the driver's and passenger seat, there's a shelf.
Yes.
With the curtain rod below it. And that was a great place for all our clothing. Most, well, not all, but a lot of our clothing. And they're not all there right now, but there were 3 bins across there. And then stuff just rolled up.
Kind of small plastic bins. It was that's a reasonable shelf. We can show that from the other angle.
Really accessible to get to.
Okay. Oh, what's this? Oh my goodness. What's out the side of the van?
This is the awning.
The awning.
The awning of the awning. The awning's great. It only takes about 2 minutes to set up. It's got these 2 poles that go down and these 2 that go out. And it's just great for sun. It's great for rain. It's not terribly amazing in the wind, but we didn't deal with that much wind. But it does pretty good. It just gives another outside space, and especially like on a hot summer day and you want to like sit outside, or on a rainy morning and you want to make coffee and not be sitting in the rain. The other good thing about it is you can roll it up when it's still wet, and unlike the tail veil is kind of more for bugs. Whereas this does not help with bugs, although you can get sides for the whole thing, which we didn't get.
We didn't get. Again, easy, like you can have both of these up in less than 5 minutes, which is amazing.
It's amazing.
And it rolls up really small. And so the brand is Rhino Rack Sunseeker. We would recommend. It's high quality. Spend the extra money for a good solid awning. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Around we go.
Around we go. So from here you can see, if you just raise up the solar panels.
Oh yeah.
2 100-watt panels. Basically a wooden frame. They're only 4 pounds each, and then they're screwed down. The front of it obviously collected lots of bugs.
They're a little hard to see, but they're up there.
They're great.
They're very lightweight.
They're sun power, I think, which are 25% efficient, and it did a great job.
Again, tied to the roof rack.
Tied.
More things tied.
All the string off this van. Most of the extras would fall apart. Let's just finish on the ceiling, the roof stuff. So, Thule doesn't need much introduction. They're all over the place. I think one of the things I'm somewhat proud of is this water system, which holds 25 gallons, and it's a 25-gallon water bladder that's actually just happened to fit right in this spot.
This green
between
thing.
the Thule, the solar panels, and the roof. And then
it's soft, so it's malleable.
And then you can fill it up from a regular hose, and then poof, got running water. whenever you need it. And 25 gallons will take us for 4 or 5 days.
Four
kinda
solid
depend- 4
days
days.
for drinking, cooking, and washing dishes, not showering. We didn't use it for showering.
Yeah, you could if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And so we just connect this to a hose and a spigot and fill it up. And so the pressure from the spigot would fill it up, and then gravity fed running water.
Amazing. That was a
Amazing.
total game changer. That let us go to like really far out places and be okay for days.
And the other thing about water is it's so heavy. So we had a 5-gallon water canister at first, and it weighs like 40, 50 pounds or something. It's just such a pain to pick up, to move, to pour from. And this is great.
So much better.
Um,
But it
ready
would
to go
flap.
inside?
It would flap when it,
yeah.
if it gets empty, it
Or
flaps
close to empty.
and hit the roof. And so that was it letting us know. But
That's our
it's
warning sign.
not good for the roof. But anyway. Okay, door.
Door. So the inside.
It's a little hard to see with the sun right now, but I'm going to get in here.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the
So
inside.
this is the couch. This is the bed in couch mode. And we actually designed it. We sat in here and kind of figured out where our heads were in order to put the bed at the right level so we could sit in bed or sit on the couch and not have our head hit the roof.
And I could work in there, actually.
Yeah.
I saw
We set the table up
clients
here.
on my laptop in there.
I had meetings in here. It was just amazing in this configuration too.
That being
Underneath-
said, I think we had it in the couch less than
yeah,
mostly in the
definitely.
bed.
Spent a lot of time in bed mode. Underneath the bed is there are 3 milk crates that fit in here. And originally we just had them kind of sitting here. And then somewhere along the line I was like, oh, I think this will work a lot better if I put some pieces of wood so they can slide back and forth. And it made so much difference. And then that also made it possible to have this space underneath them for stuff. So we call this the wine cellar, jokingly. Sometimes there is wine in
Like
it.
small bottles.
Yeah.
Small flat bottles, and then they slide over top of it, right? That doesn't interfere, which is really amazing. This we call the
This
ridge.
is the ridge introduction. So at some point, this is part of the structure of the bed. But then I put these boards on the far side to kind of differentiate the space between behind the seats and this.
In here, this is
And when I did that, I realized, oh, we can actually put things on here. And it was pretty convenient to have like oil and
Dish
vinegar
soap,
and soap
yeah.
and
the
whatever
frequent use bottles to be able to just grab quickly.
So
Why don't you pull the
And
bed
then-
out?
I'll pull the bed out.
Oh, the curtains too.
Curtains.
Curtains all the way around for when we're sleeping in a Walmart parking lot, which
So
is,
these go. You'll see these better when the
yeah,
bed's down.
when it's down.
And then, so the bed, this is like kind of like an IKEA bed.
Slats.
It's not completely smooth, but it's pretty good. There.
And then can you lift that up so that there's just lift up this part, the seat. There you
Oh.
go. So that those are where the slats go. And then there's a bunch of baskets of different items and stuff underneath that side of the bed. The mattress was sawed in half with a bread knife and then sewn a seam over it so that it can fold.
So it
I
fits
did that by
perfectly
hand.
in this space. And it was just lucky that we had the mattress that fit this space, which is from an old trailer.
Gonna hold that.
Sure.
I'll just see it fits. Fits us perfect. So I'm 5'5.5". No, I'm 5'5".
I'm
and
5'9".
David's 5'9". And if we put our seats up and put them in the fold them forward, then we have just enough room. And I would say that this mattress is between a single and a double size. Like between a twin and a double, sort of partway between that. So find out if you're sleeping with somebody in the back of your van, find out how much space you need with that. You got to tailor it to your body type. You've got to tailor it to how much space you need from them. It's nice to be able to roll away and like not be in contact all night with no other choice.
Right.
Yeah. Not that I
Sometimes.
don't like you, but
No,
you know.
of course not. And don't worry about the knife block behind your head. They've been there for 8 months and
Looks a
haven't
little
flown off
sinister,
yet.
though.
I know, it does look a little badass.
And then this is the, yeah, the curtains are more visible.
Curtain rod.
We
just
had
goes
these
across.
curtains kind of tailored.
And here's another example of string holding the van together.
Yes, string here.
And string holds these curtains on across the doorway also.
Right, why don't we shut this door so you can
Then
show
I can't
that.
see you.
Right, that's all right.
There's a string here that holds the, just goes around, and that's kind of the curtain rod.
Yeah.
Can't see you.
And then we did a bunch of work with Reflectix based on other YouTubers. They seem to enjoy Reflectix both for its insulating and for its like just light blocking qualities. So I made a Reflectix that I made them for all the windows, but honestly the ones we used the most because of these curtains were just the ones for the back windows because the curtains don't cover those. So if you're working with a passenger van that has windows all the way around, just think about that, cutting them to size. And they can be folded and sort of abused and like they're fine. Really the importance of having everything in its place is so important. You don't want to be hunting for things, so everything, knowing where things live is great. Oh, we got a little light here too. It doesn't, because this power's not turned on right now, but this was nice, really nice. Just a clip light.
An extension cord running from the jack right here.
So we could watch movies,
and
watch movies at night in bed and lean on the fridge. And
that's the other, there's a little drawer there.
that was good. Just
Great.
put little extra bedside-y things in here. So
Bedside
this,
table. That was a bedside table from a house.
Right. So that opens from the back. That's where the pots and pans are and the kettle, as we showed you from the back. But then this ends up, this doesn't open from the front because of the bed. So they're like, it's different. Anyway, I think that's clear.
Tell me more.
Okay. Well, maybe that's...
That's about it, I
it.
think. Get in touch if you have any questions.
Oh, our carpets.
Carpets.
We really like
carpets
having
really
carpets
make a big
to
difference.
change on and stuff, and stand on it to go pee in the middle of the night. Oh, we don't have a toilet. A lot of people asked, do we have a toilet? But we do have a trowel.
Garden trowel.
Garden trowel. Pee anywhere, poo and bury your poo.
And our van's name is MC Arson, also known as Carson. Mr. Carson.
Named for the Downton Abbey butler because we thought he looked like a little English milk truck dressed in a tuxedo. And just like Mr. Carson from Downton Abbey, and we thought every road trip needs a
good butler
to
Take
accompany
care.
you on the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So that's Carson. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah. Get in touch.